I paid Rick Ross $70,000, Jeezy $75,000, Lil Wayne $120,000, Prof. I paid Prof $10,000. And then Target Center alone was about $130,000.
Is that his asking price, or was that just what you offered him? 10 racks?
Man, I want to say that's what they quoted me.
Damn, Prof. Okay.
It ain't that I can't stop, it's that I won't stop. I made a few plays off a flip, now I'm on top. I'm Southside Chief, homie. Yeah. What you know about it? Lake Street legend CEO, not the co-founder. What you wanna know about me? I'm so churched up, I'm the last man standing, but I went first up. Most hated, they don't say it when I roll up. The things that people say about me, they don't say close up. Check it, I ain't been to the booth in a minute. Niggas hate the fact that I'm winning. Who makes him the chief of the South Side? Oh my nigga, I'm not the lieutenant. When I was in the gym, you wasn't in it. Face touch, so my windows is tinted. If I said that shit, then I meant it. Niggas gave me the rules and I bent it.
Let's get into it. Okay, another episode of Minnesota's #1 daily show live on Lake Street. Special guest. I've actually been trying to sit down with you for a while. I know you're a hard man to reach, but we got Mystro in the building, man.
There you go.
Now, for real, I used to do a show years ago where I wanted, I've always been an equal opportunity interviewer, and I remember we had somebody come on our show that had negative things to say about you, and I didn't know you.
Okay.
So I was like, he needs the opportunity to come respond to this shit. And I think I hit you up on Facebook or something like that, and I don't know if we weren't friends or something, but it didn't pan out. But I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time.
There you go.
Because I know what you do. I know that you're, self-proclaimed making things happen behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
And you don't do interviews very often.
Never.
Never? Is this your first interview?
My first one, I think.
Really?
Yep.
Well, welcome to
I
Live
did
on
one
Lake Street.
on a magazine out in California, but it wasn't like it was like all email based.
So not like a podcast?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Nope.
So
it's weird because I can entertain a lot of people like in person, but I'm like, it's hard to be on camera and talk, man. You start getting, it's a totally different vibe when you got a microphone in front of your face.
That's a fact.
I commend you, man. It's a tough ass job that I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just meant to do it. I think I'm just born to do this.
There you go.
That's it. I don't, there's not much else. So let's just get into it, man. So you are the maestro.
Yep.
You make things happen. You are responsible for a lot of big events. Mm-hmm. Do you primarily work in Minnesota, or do you do stuff all over the map?
I got this weird like self-sabotaging type thing where I need to keep doing things here. And like most of the things I do here is a loss. It's not a very profitable venture doing anything here, but I just do it because it's where I'm born and raised. All my friends and family are here. So I do a lot of things in Minneapolis basically just to do it here, just to like have a good time and to keep trying to keep like pushing towards something, something bigger, like with events and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of events here, a lot of stuff here, but I do also do shows in like Phoenix and Vegas and Hawaii and Houston, and Chicago and stuff like that. So in Milwaukee, like I've done shows, I've done events and business at multiple other places. So
what, in your opinion, why do you always take a L here? What is it about Minnesota? What?
Well, I think that is a two-part answer to that. Number one, a lot of artists will charge you like it's an A market here. Like if an artist, and that's something that's really weird, especially with the rap industry, is these rappers start and it's like one hit single, and then they just want to like listen to other rappers. Like, I'm getting $100,000 a show. It's like, I want $100,000 a show. It's like, bro, you're only gonna do 800 tickets.
Right.
You can't even make that money make sense. Like it just doesn't work like that. So my issue has been, and I know a lot of promoters, they may not publicly or openly say this, but you'll overpay an artist, because you want to get that artist. And then sometimes there's even bidding wars. Like, we got to offer in for Minneapolis for $50,000 for this person. And it's like, all right, $60,000. I'll do 70. And before you know it, you're just hurting each other, and then no one makes any money anyways. But you put your name on that flyer and you did that show, so that's your win, I guess. I don't know.
That doesn't feel. I imagine that doesn't feel much like a win.
Not at all.
So even like, let's say you do win that bidding war, right?
Mhm.
And then you end up going to the event, and the show's packed out, and it's crazy. Do you still feel a little bit of a win, even if it technically you lost monetarily? Is that partially why you keep doing it?
That's actually a really good question. I think it's more like an addiction. You know, it's like it's weird to even say that. I don't know. You know, it's like a form of gambling almost.
For
so
sure.
I would say it is like an addiction because it essentially is gambling. You know, like you're placing a bet that you're gonna get this crowd, or you know, you're looking at it like, all right, this show is $70,000. Best case scenario, I gross 120. You know, that the money in between the 70 and the 120 is my, you know, what could be.
Yeah.
So you get like, you know, that's the rush. Like, all right, let's do it. We can make 50,000 or 20, you know, whatever it ends up being. That's what you're doing. So I think, you know, the night of is actually my least fun part of an event, actually. Like, I don't really get to sit and watch the shows. Like, I'm moving around. You got people trying to sneak people in through the back, or you got people that's trying to say they're on a list and there's issues at the front, or, you know, like you're sitting there just making sure nobody's stealing your money. It's really a bad business. Like,
stressful.
I don't know why I keep doing that to myself. But
Yeah, especially with all the shit that promoters, I mean, at least around here, seem to get.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the promoters around here get. People talk a lot of shit about promoters here. Like,
Well,
a lot.
I think there's the promoter is somebody that is like, you know, those are like the cool guys that are like, you know, this is my show, and I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's putting the show on. So I always get, you know, for example, like Dolo or Keys, or like the people that actually have the city that checks on what they're doing. Nobody checks on what I'm doing. I get them to kind of be the face of the event, and they make it cool, you know? So it's like you pay them for their services, and they're the promoter.
Yeah.
But there's a business part of show promotion, and that's what I gravitate to, and that's what I do. I don't care to be, you know, popular, you know, out and about like that. Like,
You don't want to be the face of it.
no, not at all.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And I feel like also maybe getting people saying negative shit about promoters, that's probably just part of the job.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I guess that comes with anything. When you,
True.
when you, like, even you, for example, like when you start getting notoriety, or like when you start looking like you're doing something, that's when people start talking about you.
True.
And I'd say at least 75% of it is just false, made up stuff. And it's just like, I don't even know you. How do you have this whole story about me that never happened at all? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's definitely that's very it's very fitting that you just said that. Let's just put it that way. So what's been like your most successful event that you've done here in your career?
In Minnesota?
Yep.
Let's see. Well, the most successful would probably be the Kevin Gates show, because he did it for free.
Was that recent? The recent one?
That was in 2017.
Okay. He did it for free.
Flew himself out. I like made him make me get. So that's actually a funny story. Kevin Gates and I are friends, and I did a deal where I got him some cars. I used to rent cars to him, and then I was like, I feel guilty at this point taking your money for these cars. Like, why don't you just buy your own cars? He was like, my credit's not good, and I don't know how to do that. I was like, well, I can teach you how to do it. Like, why don't we just build your credit and you buy your own cars?
Yeah.
And so we did that, you know, making that a short story. We did that. He started getting his own cars, and he was like, man, I want to, you know, like, let me throw you some money. I was like, I don't want any money. He was like, well, I don't want you to do any of that for free. I was like, and don't even worry about it. And he was like, all right, well, what can I do? And I was just like, well, it's funny. I've been trying to book you prior to meeting you for like a year. You know, like I'm emailing your agent, Johnny Bricks, multiple times. And this guy was just shutting me down left and right. Like, we only work with First Avenue. They're the best promoters in the city. we don't work with new. This guy was like being super offensive. Like, I'm like, bro, you don't even know who I am. Like, damn. Like, he was like calling me a goofy, and I'm like, that is preposterous. You know, I'm like, dog.
Wow.
Anyway, so I'm showing him that Kevin Gates was already coming here like October 8th or 9th or something like that, right, on a tour with Live Nation. He called Johnny and was like, yo, I'm reading these emails. Cancel the St. Paul date. Give it to Mystro. And he was like, dog, that's a Live Nation. Why are you doing it? You're going to ruin the whole tour. He was like, I don't care. Cancel that. I'm only going to Minnesota if it's Mystro's date.
Wow.
So we canceled and ironically, we both were going to Myth. Like, that show was already going to Myth.
Yeah.
Canceled that one. He went, I want to say July 17th, for me, for free. So I made that show, I think it was around $100,000. And then the owner of Myth, Mike, stole all the money. So stole all the money. So I had to sue him. So 2 years later, I think I walked with like $86,000. Yeah. Chris Pham was actually the lawyer. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Chris Pham.
He went busy. He got busy. Very good lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he still the owner?
You know, even back then he wasn't the owner. Like, he had his friend he signed over the business to his friend, and yeah, so he's just a real, you know, I don't want to talk down or bad about anybody, but that's.
I mean, he stole $100K. You could talk a little bit bad.
I would not ever do business with him.
That's a little slimy. And you know what's funny is there's another story that I have about him.
Mike?
Yeah. So this is now the second time that I've heard this. This is the second time I've heard this.
How he is operating and living is just crazy. Like,
bro, what did he think? He was going to just skate with $100K? Like, nobody was going to notice?
So
like,
he actually told me that because we were using e-ticks, and he told me that they didn't release the money yet. And I was like, I actually worked with e-ticks before, and they like clear the money really quick. And I was like, you know what? It was a Sunday. I'll give them, you know. And it was basically like Thursday. I'm like, I mean, how long are they going to keep the money? He was like, yeah, I don't know. This is really weird. They're keeping the money from another event. And he had like this whole spiel. And this is all on email. And then like the following week, I actually hit up e-ticks, and I went through all these avenues. And I ended up talking to like the CEO of the company. And he was like, because your name isn't on here, and I see what you're doing, like you're emailing everybody. And he was like, I understand why you're doing it. You're mad and you're trying to figure out what's going on. He was like, but we're not obligated to talk to you at all because your name isn't anywhere on here. We're not actually your client, or we don't have a relationship with you. Mike does. He was like, but because you're showing receipts and your name's on the flyer and, you know, so forth, I will tell you this. We did release the money that day. I was like, well, that's all I needed to hear. I don't need a story from you guys. You guys paid him. He was like, yes. I was like, have a good day. Wow. Went back to Mike, and I screenshot that, and I was just like, you got 48 hours to send me my money. And then he responded, F you, sue me. And I was like, damn.
Okay.
Yeah, that one went left really
called
really
up Chris
fast.
Called up Chris Pham and said,
well, I tried a different route first, and I don't want to,
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think Myth is closed.
I mean,
or they're closing.
I think I saw something online where they're selling it to the city to build like a apartment building or something like that.
That's too bad, man. Myth is actually
I really like the venue.
Great venue.
Yeah. I really like the venue. I saw, in the process of the whole suing Mike thing, this dude was like selling shares of the company to multiple other people. He was getting people for a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and even,
Yeah.
We'll just leave him alone for a
Have you had poor experiences with other, like, as far as like business ventures, working with other promoters in the city? You don't have to say names or anything.
Yeah, one guy in particular, there was another really successful show, and him and his parents stole all the door money, like about $100,000.
What is up with this?
Yeah, I don't know. That show in particular, I was actually just like helping a friend.
Yeah.
It was all his money. And we did this artist, 2 Chainz, and I actually met him in Atlanta when I was doing some video work for Grand Hustle. recording an artist named Spody.
I remember
And
for sure.
I was in the elevator and the doors were closing, and all I heard was, "Hey, hold the door." So I opened it back up, and I was on my phone, and then I look over, and I was like, "Damn, who's this?" And he was just like, "You listen to rap?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Here." And it was a Titty Boy album. And
I was gonna say, was he Titty Boy or 2 Chainz?
Well, it actually said Titty Boy, and then it said 2 Chainz real small, but I think he was just
in the transition process.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I recognized the name Titty Boy because I was like, "Hey, that's a weird name."
Yeah.
And I remember him being on like Duffel Bag Boys, and I was like, "Damn, oh, that is him." I was like, "Damn, he is tall as hell." I couldn't think of nothing else but just how tall he is. Like, damn, he's like 6'6" or something.
Yeah.
He's a tall dude.
Poor tall people, man.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
I would love to be 6'6".
You're tall. I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Do you play basketball?
You're right.
There's nothing else to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was then we ended up booking him maybe 5 or 6 times. I've booked him in a bunch of markets.
How are you able to create these relationships? Is it just all in elevators or?
Actually, yes. No, I also rent out exotic cars to some, out in Los Angeles. So I meet people through there. I meet people because I used to make beats, and I engineered a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I've actually, and then I got into camera work. I was just always trying to find something to do to not work for anybody else, and create my own income.
Yeah.
So even down in Atlanta, I went down with like a T3i camera or something like that, a really cheap Canon camera, and started recording some people. And Montana the Mac took me under his arms and was like, "Yo, I want you to shoot my videos." So I did that, and then we went over to Young Jock's house, and Jock had like 4 Canon 7Ds, and one of them I was just like, "Damn, that's like the camera I want." And he was like, "You could have that."
Oh, wow.
2 days later, his house got robbed. They broke in and stole a bunch of stuff, including the cameras.
The cameras.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that was so.
How could you not believe in God, man?
What's funny is
not to bring it to religion or anything, but like that's. Whew.
Yeah. What's actually funny is I think that camera was meant to be stolen because we left it in a trunk like 2 or 3 months later, and it got stolen. No matter where that camera
How can you not believe in the devil?
Right.
God damn! Wow, that's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy. So we do a lot of talk up here about Minnesota being the next Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So you having spent some time actually in Atlanta and involved in the music scene and working with artists that are from Atlanta, and what are your thoughts on that? Is that realistic?
No. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Atlanta was such a beautiful. I mean, I haven't been there in a long time, but I was going down there or staying down there for very lengthy periods of time. And the thing about Atlanta is Atlanta supported itself really heavy. Like Montana the Mac, you may not know who that is.
I know who he is. Yep.
He's a really good friend of mine, actually. He made a living off of essentially one record.
Yeah.
And it did really well. Like we toured with the Girls Gone Wild bus. Like we were literally with the Girls Gone Wild girls. I'm sitting there like probably 21 or 22 years old, just like in heaven. Like, man, this is crazy as hell. And he was making money. He was making like $2,500 a show.
You get to hit any of them girls?
No.
Nothing? None of that? No.
No, I was no.
Wait, so were you with what's the dude's name?
Which one?
The main dude that started Girls Gone Wild.
Oh, no. So
Was
I
he
didn't
there?
even watch it yet. I wanted to watch that no, I didn't meet him either.
Oh, okay.
This was like the Girls Gone Wild like C- group. Like it was like they had the real
C-team.
bus, but it was just they were.
It's the C team.
Yeah, they were the JV squad for sure.
Got you. Still though, it had to be fun though, right?
I think I was more happy with like being on like a tour.
Yeah.
Like I had actually on that tour I shared a room with Bankroll Fresh. Rest in peace.
Oh wow.
That was my like roomie. Like Montana was the artist. Then there's a security guard, and me and Bankroll we had double bed rooms. So for like 10 days straight, I was just with them, and I was like, we slept in the same hotel room.
That's crazy.
No.
So you've just been put kind of just naturally put into all these positions to create relationships and have carried them with you.
Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, like I can talk and be funny and whatever, but having all this is like awkward, but for the most part, not to sound arrogant at all, but my personality really opens up doors a lot of places because I'm a pretty forthcoming person, and what you see is what you get. Like I don't like take anything from it's like I just go have fun.
Yeah,
so,
seems like you're just a genuine guy, just moving around doing the things that you love.
Trying to.
Are you still doing the exotic cars?
Yeah, a little bit, not so much. So before COVID, so that company was actually doing really well, and my aunt passed away, and then I had a kid. Like she died, and he was born the day before, so I had a brand new kid, and my aunt, who was like the closest human being to me, period, died. So it was like it was such a crazy. It was like I was so happy to have a new kid, and it's so sad that somebody died. It was like, and she died, like she had a brain tumor that just popped up after my other aunt died, and they were like, all right, we removed it. They went and seen some specialists. He was like, there's only like 1,100 of these ever in humanity, like super rare. And they're like, yeah, we removed it, and she's good. And then it came back, and it just started multiplying. Like it grew, and she was dead within 8 months from the surgery to her death was like 8 months. So it happened relatively quick. And the whole time, she was like kind of out of it. She had like this helmet thing that did what's it called, chemo or what? Like she wasn't like herself the whole time.
Yeah.
It was just a declining,
Fuck cancer, man.
Yeah, it's
cancer is
shitty situation. So that company, like I said, it was doing really well, and then all that happened, and I just stopped like answering my phone. I stopped renting out cars, so all the sales like stopped, but the car notes never stopped. So it's like $36,000 a month just in my overhead, and I just had to keep paying that, and then I just started like basically dumping cars to keep paying the note.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't keep doing this. So I went from, I think I had like 14 or 15 cars, and then now I think I'm down to like 5, something like that. So they're all on like long-term rentals, kind of like does itself now. So I don't.
So are you looking to build it back up, or are you kind of looking to maybe move on from it a little bit?
I just moved to Houston in August, so now I'm in Texas, and that's normally a good place to start because you're not going to be a millionaire unless you have a bunch of cars, because each car pretty much only doubles the car note, maybe triples, and then comes maintenance and stuff like that. So it was really just kind of a conversation starter. Like if I'm going to meet you and I pull up in a Lamborghini, you're like, oh, the conversation just hits differently,
you can
like
talk
immediately,
to
like, this dude's somebody, like, or you're walking out and somebody's walking to their Lamborghini, you both have them, like, oh, high five,
Lamborghini
it's like,
brothers,
right?
Yeah.
Here, take this business card, and then you see what they're doing and see how you can, help them, and by helping yourself. So, but to answer that question, I don't know. I'm getting older, and that's really a really busy job.
Yeah.
Like you're
sounds like it.
driving here, this tire's blown. You get a phone call at 3, they got a DWI, your car's empty. It's like, that right there could be its own podcast right there. In fact, I shot a sizzle reel for it. After this, I'll show you the sizzle reel. Like it's really crazy that there's not a show like that, but there's 18 house flipping TV shows. There's not one exotic car rental TV show that's like a TV show.
Well, maybe you're onto something. Maybe we should cut this out.
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
Yep.
What was the reason for the move to Houston? Was there a specific reason, or just
California? I wasn't doing a lot of business there, so to pay as much as I was living, like how much it costs just to live there, it wasn't making sense. Like my house was cool, but gas was $7 a gallon. Texas is $2.55. You know what I'm saying? I get a bigger house there for a fifth of the price. So it's like, and Houston's the 4th biggest city in the country. Yeah. So I'm going from 2nd to 4th. I can still go and figure something out down there.
Plenty to do down there.
Houston's actually a pretty cool city, man. I'm still discovering new things, obviously, and it's a little slower, like it's
anywhere down south.
And then the humidity is just ridiculous. I don't know how I'm gonna ever get used to that.
Worse than here?
So it's funny that you said that, because in my head, like I was like, you know what? I'm from Minnesota. We get humidity. It can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
really
way worse.
I mean, I've been to Texas a few times, and I felt like
go there in August or September or July, man. Yeah, you'll want to leave immediately.
I was there last year in June, actually.
I don't know about June because, like I said, I moved there in August. So starting like August 4th, every damn day it was humid as hell, and it was like you know, in Minnesota when it's humid, it storms
Yep.
and then it's back to like beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, perfect, that's gone.
Yep.
It's like it storms there and then it gets more humid. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
hell is the point of that shit? Like,
Yeah.
So that's it's something different.
Yeah.
And
For
same
sure.
thing with New Orleans and Atlanta. They're all just humid places.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just everything is just slower.
Yeah.
First time you ever take a trip down south somewhere, it's like, the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Y'all hurry up. It's crazy. It's crazy. So what's the next big thing you got coming?
I got Jeezy coming here next week.
Whew.
At Skyway.
If you're watching this, probably this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
1 week from today's Saturday. Yeah, 1 week from today.
So that's
January 28th.
January 28th. January 28th. Jeezy. Where's it at?
Skyway.
Skyway.
Mm-hmm. And that one, actually, I did that. We had a festival in Houston, and the guy that I'd kind of partnered up with, they had some production issues, and they had to cancel their festival. There was like 13 artists, all kept his deposits and everything. And Jeezy was like, yeah, we can move the date and the city. I was like, mind blown. I was like, no one does that. Gucci Mane took the money. Every artist that was on there kept the money and was like, basically kick rocks.
Weird.
Jeezy was like, I'm down for, because I was like, we could do Hawaii, we can do Phoenix, like, you know what? Let's just bring him to Minneapolis. I can do it. I hit up Skyway. They're open, and he did it for the same amount of money, no penalty at all. I was like, that is so, like, that's like a unicorn. So
shout out to Jeezy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
absolutely, that was very, very, very crazy. And it's actually selling really well. Like, I posted it. This is probably the show that I spent the least amount of money marketing wise. I posted it one time and it was like 300 shares and gang of comments, and I was like, damn, that was wild.
Got any? Are there Minnesota acts opening?
Yeah. There's this one. I actually took on some artists that I'd never even heard of before.
Never heard of?
Yeah, like Chosen Wolf,
Okay.
Chris Raw,
Mhm.
and then Mayhem. Of course, he's got John Ray.
Mayhem and John Ray are on the bill?
Not Mayhem, but Mayhem. Like, you know, every time I do a show, he's like, I need an opener slot. So he's got that, and then Kyle Scott.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I know you were, I don't know if you were solely responsible or if you were just a part of that Wayne show.
Oh,
The
Target Center.
Yes.
Yeah. So to my knowledge, I was the first promoter that's from the city
Mm-hmm.
that did Target Center. So like that was like my big. I was like, it was like a euphoric feeling. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like I'm doing Target Center. Like, Mom, I made it. So I booked Lil Wayne that actually came from Earn, or Mr. Neal. He had Julia Beverly. I guess there was like a contract that somebody was trying to do Lil Wayne here and never paid the deposit. So there's like this date in this contract that was ready to go. I don't know who it is. I'm not trying to hide their name.
I was trying to think if I remember that.
I don't even, it never went public. Like it wasn't announced because he didn't pay for it yet. But there was a contract that was agreed on a price. It was $100,000 or $120,000 for Lil Wayne, all in. So I was like, all right, that's, it's Lil Wayne. Just, it's a little bit on the tail end. He doesn't have anything really hot, but it is Lil Wayne. And,
It is Wayne.
He didn't do anything at Karma, so people still want to see him. Let's do it. And what's even funny is I was waiting on some money to do this show, and Kevin Gates actually was the money that I used for the deposit. He sent me $100,000. I paid for that show and Target Center deposit and started promoting it. And then when I, closed a different deal, I shot him back his money. But that was actually how that show started.
Wow.
And I remember, I don't even want to put Drake and Gates out like that, but they were like, I don't know why you're booking him. He doesn't show up.
He doesn't show up. Oh no!
Literally, she said that, and
no.
I was like, nah, he's good. Like this is a good contract. I know it's coming from Julia Beverly. She's solid. But Drika said that. She was like, I don't know why you're booking him, but the wire's been sent. And I was like, why would you say that? She was like, we just know that he doesn't show up to his show sometimes. And I was like, damn. And so we did a February date at Target Center with Mike Stud and T Grizzly.
Yep.
And I get a call because I was doing Lil Uzi Vert in Hawaii, and ironically, he didn't show up to that show. So I'm already dealing with a no-show there. Cortez Bryant is on the phone telling me like, "Hey, y'all are promoting the show wrong. It can't be Lil Wayne live. It has to be a festival with Lil Wayne. I was like, yes, you guys gave me a contract. It didn't say none of that. Why are you saying this now when the show's in 2 weeks? He was like, you guys, we got to take it down. We got to cancel the date. I was like, wait, cancel the date? What are you talking about? He was like, we got to change the date. Live Nation or AG, or whoever it was, had a problem with me doing Lil Wayne behind an agency. Like, I just went to Julie Beverly, so it was like a management deal. So the agency was pissed, and they're, causing an issue. So we had to cancel the February date, and he was just like, well, we're going to just send you your money back. I was like, well, now I got the whole city waiting for a Lil Wayne date, and Target Center's not going to send me my money back. Like, no, if you guys want to pay for the radio, if you want to give me that money back, then we can cancel. He was like, no, we'll give you a new date, but you got to add some artists to make it a festival. So it went from Lil Wayne Live to now I called it the Spring Reset Festival, featuring Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, Jeezy, and Prof.
Yep.
And he was like, all right, that works. Because I tried to do Gucci Mane and Cardi B, but Target Center was like, no, Gucci Mane is too ghetto. And why Jeezy and Rick Ross was not ghetto, but
wow.
So we did that. I paid, so I still have my deposit from Rick Ross or Lil Wayne. I paid Jeezy, paid Rick Ross, paid Prof. The show went on. Lil Wayne's manager flew in town. His drummer was in town. His nutritionist was in town. Everybody but Lil Wayne. The show's going on, and we get a text like, Lil Wayne's not coming. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he's not coming. His airplane didn't work. I was like, it's like 8:30. What do you?
His airplane didn't work.
Right. So I paid his back end. I paid his tour manager came. I gave him a $45,000 cashier's check and $10,000 in cash. That was all Lil Wayne was paid now, and he wasn't there.
Okay.
So had he had told me around noon, I would have been able to not pay Jeezy's back end, not Rick Ross's back end, and then not Lil Wayne's back end, or the money for the Target Center. Like, we could have just canceled the whole show, but he didn't do that. So AEG and Target Center said because he was the headliner of the festival, we are obligated to refunding everybody their money. So when I had Lil Wayne, I think tickets were at like $2,500, right?
Yep.
I added Jeezy and Rick Ross, and we sold like another 3,000 tickets because of them. So I was like, if 3,000 people bought a ticket for Jeezy and Rick Ross, why are we refunding money? Maybe they didn't even go for Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I had to like argue with them, like, all right, well, don't just do a mandatory refund. Make the people go and ask for a refund, because there might be some people that was happy and pleased with what they paid to go and see. Like, you still got Rick Ross and you still got Jeezy and Prof.
Yep.
Yep.
So and then you guys ended up putting Mayhem on there, right? Or was that a different show?
Yeah, he performed there.
He did, right?
Yeah. And DB the roster.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Mayhem and DB touched the stage. That was a big deal. I remember that being a really big deal.
And Dolo hosted it.
Yep.
Peter Parker was up there.
Yep.
City of Dreams. Tip.
Yep.
Tip DJ there.
If I'm not mistaken, Peter Parker went on the radio the next day and said Wayne's not allowed in Minnesota anymore.
Yeah,
he's not allowed to come back.
Peter Parker went in on that. I felt bad because I was too scared to go out there and tell the people Lil Wayne wasn't coming. So I was like, Dolo, will you please go out there? He was like, man, I don't want to do that. Peter Parker was like, I don't want to do it either. I was like, man, please, I'm not gonna be able to do it. So they both went out there and I think Dolo said it, or Peter. They both went out there and said it. They're like, we're sorry to say this. So they manned up when I couldn't. Shout out to both of them.
I think he did it again after that too.
Lil Wayne?
I think he did.
I want to say maybe they.
Is it smoke with you and Wayne? After that?
Well, there's actually so many different variations of what went on with this situation.
Oh man.
No, I don't know him to have a problem. The only thing I'm upset at is that you didn't at least kick me back my back end or the deposit.
Sure.
Like, you just kept the money. You didn't show. You didn't even try and. I feel like this. If you mess up, right? You cause an issue. You should be doing something to fix it. I shouldn't have to call you to make you rectify what you done wrong.
Yeah.
That's your bad. I'm being patient, waiting for you to do that, and it never happened. they were like, yeah, well, you got Minnesota whenever. I was like, I can't bring him back. You guys did a canceled, or you basically came to Karma. You couldn't get in with a gun, which is wild that you think you can walk in with a gun, first of all. So you canceled that. Then you canceled my first date, remade it, didn't show. Like, dog, like, you're popped in Minnesota. I don't know anybody that's going to even think that you're going to show up. Who's going to buy a ticket to a show that's probably not going to happen?
Yeah.
So I don't think that he lost any fan. I don't think anybody's like, oh, I'm really mad he didn't go to Target Center. I'm not listening to his music. I still like Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
I love Lil Wayne's music.
Yeah.
Like, I did it. That was like another notch on my belt. I was like, damn, I'm doing Target Center and Lil Wayne. This is great. Like, I was so, if you knew me during that time, I was like on cloud 9. I was like, I couldn't be touched.
Yeah, that's a major major moment.
So no, there's no smoke. I just would like for him to,
He still owes you about what, $55,000?
$466,000.
Oh, he owes you $466. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said Oh yeah, no, he owes you a lot then.
Yeah, well, because I didn't make any money. I paid Rick Ross $70,000, Jeezy $75,000, Lil Wayne $120,000, I paid Prof $10,000. And then Target Center alone was about $130,000.
Is that his asking price, or was that just what you offered him? 10 racks?
Man, I want to say that's what they quoted me.
Damn, Prof. Okay.
And that was in 2017.
Damn,
Prof sells really well.
He does.
I think so. That was also another learning lesson that I had as a concert
and
promoter.
Dolo only gets $500 to go sit down and have dinner? That's trash.
I'd go to dinner for $400.
You would?
No, I'm just.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Right.
You want to sit down with Mystro? It's $400. $400.
Just buy dinner, man. No. Prof sells really well, but what I was saying is sometimes when you book artists, you don't think about what their crowd is willing to pay for that artist, right?
Yeah.
So Prof, I don't think Prof can sell a $75 ticket. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I don't think that he's gonna sell 3,000 tickets at $75. I think his crowd is $15, $20, or $25, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying this is just what and again, this is just an opinion. But if you have like Lil Wayne, for example, or Jeezy or something like that, the ticket buyer will pay $75 for whatever reason.
Yep.
You know, or Bruno Mars. It doesn't need to be.
If they'll pay $75, they'll probably pay $100.
Correct.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, so when I added Prof, I got his platform. He posted on his Instagram and he did that. I got his platform and he pushed it for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if a lot of people came for Prof
for him,
like I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it was a bad investment because he did an incredible show, man.
Yeah.
That dude came out and just killed it.
I think probably what I would say is the fan bases are very different. The people that listen to Jeezy and Ross,
I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like, fuck it, let's throw Prof in there.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted a local big name, and at the time and still even now, he's a big deal. It's
he's still going up.
Yeah,
he's still going up. He's definitely one of the biggest artists we've ever had out of Minnesota.
Prof.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Yeah, he's got a good sound. I like him. Great dude. Like his, he showed up professionally and did his thing.
Never met him. Wish he would come sit down with me. We've had a few.
Mike Campbell, I don't know if that's still his manager, but that's a good dude.
Yeah, I'd like him to come sit down with me too. But we've had some little disagreements. It's nothing crazy, but they didn't like one of the things that we did with Cash and Nova. It's okay. Prior to that, I had a relationship with those guys though.
Okay.
Definitely would still be interested in talking to them.
I could probably fix that for $500.
Yeah, you said $400.
That was dinner.
Oh, okay.
No,
this is fine. Got it.
Yeah. So that was a learning curve on what I call like price out. Like an artist at certain prices. My very first show, I made that mistake as well. I did Common at Myth in 2006 with Kara Lewis, and it was a Finding Forever tour. That was my very first show. I did.
And that's when you realize nobody in Minnesota listens to Common.
He actually sold out First Ave a bunch of times,
my bad.
But I did really bad. Like I think we only had 400 people there.
I love Common.
Because
he's a legend.
it was again. So there's that was the other thing that I learned is like don't book who you like, book who people like.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't listen to a lot. If I booked who I'd like, it'd be nobody in there. For example, my last Benny the Butcher and Joel Santana. For me, I love that show. I was like, damn, this is tight. We had like 200 people there. It was horrible. It was the worst show I've
For
ever.
Benny and Jewels?
Yeah.
That's why everybody was posting pictures with him, because there wasn't nobody there, so they were taking pictures with everybody.
Man, you could you could throw multiple bowling balls all down there and not hit anybody. It was it was.
Oh no!
I actually took a picture of it and posted it because I was like, if any promoter will do this, they got it's like I don't care. It's my money. It's my it's like who I don't need a front like we sold it out. I was like, this is what we did here in Minnesota. This was horrible.
So you're not super mad at taking an L like that, I assume.
I mean, yeah, I was heartbroken, but it was so funny to me. I couldn't even be mad. I was literally laughing. I was like, I was not expecting this at all. Like I was like, all right, we'll do like 1,300. And the pre-sales were at like, I think 2 days before the show, I think we were like 80. And I was like,
Caboose?
No, this was at Skyway. Super big spot, man. It was like even more disrespectful.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah, I like Skyway. It's a big, huge,
So are you able to figure that out after that happens? Like, are you able to go like, okay, here's why, or what? Okay, this isn't their market, or I would think that Jewels aside, like I love Jewels, right? Mm-hmm. But he's not super relevant.
No, not at all.
But Benny is.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't Benny sell 1,300 tickets? That's crazy to me in Minnesota.
I don't know. His manager was actually telling me, we're selling out all of our venues. You need to hurry up and lock this in. Because I kept going back and forth. There's a process of, anytime anyone's booking shows, you always ask people, what do you think Jeezy would do? What do you think Jeezy would, and you're going through this whole rabbit hole of, like, answers from it's all hypotheticals. Like, do you think you'd go? Like, yeah, I'd go. And then they don't even show up anyway. So you're just trying to convince yourself, like, all right, this is a good idea. Yeah. And with Benny, it was like 8 out of 10 people were like, yes. Yeah. And the other 2 people were like, who is Benny the Butcher? There was no no's. It was just all yes, or they just don't know who he is. So, I don't know how that did that bad because I actually spent thousands, like probably $3,500 just on marketing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not. It didn't perform well at all.
That's bizarre to me. And I would think that Benny is kind of the type of rap that we like here.
You would think it.
Apparently not.
You would think it,
but
which is crazy because, I'd compare him to like Pusha T, like the same like drug,
for sure,
innuendos and like just kind of druggy rap, and Pusha T was only doing Fillmore, and Pusha T is way bigger than Benny the Butcher. So I don't know. I can't even explain how that one performed like that.
Weird shit. Very strange.
Very weird.
So, Jeezy, the 28th, Skyway.
That's it.
You got some other.
I got my birthday is March 4th, and Skyway gave me that date. So I don't know if I'll do anything on my birthday, but that would be the next date. And I don't know yet who it's gonna be. There's 3 or 4 names in a bucket.
If you ever want to collab with Live on Lake Street, we're here.
Yeah, that's what I was being told on the way here. I'd like to be able to make that an option for them, but I was saying that it's hard to get these artists to do anything. Yeah. It's like, hey man, can you come do this podcast? Or like, I'm like begging artists to go to one of my friend's shoe stores so that he can give you free shoes. Like, why is that so hard to? Like, I would love some free shoes. Like, I would show up. I would drive to Des Moines right now for some free. It's like
the next time that happens and they decline, call me. I'll come get the free shoes. I'll go get.
It's so crazy that the richer and the more famous you are, the less you pay for things. Right. It's like
it's wild. The more money you got, the less money you spend.
Right. That is all. It's so mind-boggling to me.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with nothing in my pocket. Fucking crazy. God damn it! I gotta get rich.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Well, this is a good conversation, man. I'm glad we could do it. Great stories,
likewise, man.
And let's do it again. And for sure, if you're able to funnel some artists in that want to sit down, I mean,
absolutely.
The location helps.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty dope.
Usually
spot.
They're right down here, anyways.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
this is a dope spot, man.
But yeah, I mean, and obviously, if you ever want to actually collab on an actual event as well. We do events too.
If you guys want to come out to this Jeezy thing, I don't know exactly what you guys can do there, but you guys are more than welcome.
For sure.
I'll give you some free tickets.
All right. So. What else? Anything else? Any closing thoughts? Got any piece of advice for any young up and coming promoters? Don't book Lil Wayne because he doesn't show up.
Yeah. Lil Uzi Vert also doesn't show up. Yeah, I did him in Hawaii.
That's a Wayne baby.
He didn't show up, and then we booked another date, and then the day of, he was just like, oh, shit, I'm in Dallas. It's the Super Bowl. I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? So, yeah. But at least, I mean, maybe 3 months later, they shot us back our deposit. But
okay, well, that's good.
I mean, we still spent. I mean, that was just to go to Hawaii twice and get hotels and rental car. And
Hawaii's expensive as fuck.
And I did it twice just for this one show. You know, I was like, damn, that's just horrible. So yeah, I would not. I wouldn't advise booking him either. But words to people that's aspiring to be a concert promoter is, I would just go and intern for a company and just make sure that's what you want to do, because it's brutal. Yeah. You know, it's a cold world for every business, but this one is, man, if those people don't show up, man, on that date, that money's gone. It ain't coming back. And there's nothing else to it. It's a very cutthroat business, you know. But other than that, I mean, it can be fun, but you gotta just really, you gotta live and breathe promotions. You know, like I'm a rare breed. Like I don't live and breathe that, so I hire people that do, and I just try and make the most of it. Yeah. But it is it can be a fun business if that's what you're into. Yeah. You know, like.
Sounds like you don't really recommend it though.
No,
not too much.
In fact, I wouldn't recommend a lot of it. Like even the video game stuff, or not video game, but the video camera stuff, like shooting videos. That's, you got to live and breathe. No matter what you do, you got to live and breathe it. Yeah. Otherwise, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. No matter what. If you're gonna be a realtor, be the best realtor you can be. Be passionate about doing whatever you're doing. Yeah. You know. So, and I got my California real estate license, and I found out that's not for me either. Spent a bunch of time and money on obtaining this license, and just I wasn't cut for it. And I was like, you got to really be at those open houses. You got to really get clients, because that's the only way you're making money. You don't have nobody's just going to pay you hourly to be a realtor, you know.
You're on your own.
Yep.
Got to make it yourself. Wow. Well, that's great advice, man, and I'm going to stay away from
Sorry it wasn't more positive.
You know? No, I think you were real. I think you were honest. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing, because I think people will be happy to hear from you.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, I mean, I'm approachable, man. They can, if anybody got any questions on it, I don't really sugarcoat that business. Like,
that's clear. That's clear. Yeah, there you go. All right, man. Well, tell them if they want to find you or reach you, or how they,
My Instagram is Mystro MPLS. Everybody always says that like it's one word, like Mystropolis. Yeah, I don't get it, but Mystro MYSTRO, and Minneapolis just MPLS.
For sure. And again, Jeezy.
Jeezy January 28th. I always forget about that. I got flyers and I barely hand them out. So luckily this one's kind of moving on its own. Otherwise I'd have 28 people like the Benny the Butcher show. And
get out there and support it, if for no other reason but because Jeezy did some unthinkable shit that you would never expect an artist of his stature to do.
Very, very cool, very unique situation. So I would, I'm honored that he did that, and I'm, it's dope that I'm bringing it to Minneapolis. So.
For sure. Well, we appreciate what you do, man.
Thank you, man.
For real.
I appreciate it.
That's it. Another episode of Live on Lake Street. I'm Jake Faircloth. Follow me everywhere at Jake Faircloth1.
It ain't that I can't stop, it's that I won't stop. I made a few plays off a flip, now I'm on top. I'm Southside Chief, homie, what you know about it? Lake Street legend CEO, not the co-founder. What you wanna know about me? I'm so churched up, I'm the last man standing, but I went first up. Most hated, they don't say it when I roll up. The things that people say about me, they don't say close up. Check it.